I've had a long-standing interest in scientists being better communicators, being much more effective in not just doing their research and publishing in journals, but sharing it with a broader public to try to have some impact and to try not to be activists, but to share what they know and to put it in the hands of people who can actually use it to make a difference to improve people's lives. Most scientists aren't very good communicators. I'm not even sure they think about it. And I think that's really important, and I've devoted most of my professional life to that. Along with that, I'm also interested, and have been for years, in the concept of bipartisanship. It isn't that everyone has to agree on everything, and certainly not agree on the means for getting there. But there's a lot more agreement, a lot more common ground on goals and ultimate objectives than is often led on. And it turns out that I learned, and actually reinforced through my research in writing this article, that research is often a bridge to partisan divides. And I hadn't thought of it that way, but really interesting and important research that is directly intended to better people's lives has in fact been the fodder, the intellectual capital, or call it whatever, to bring people together that has actually worked in a number of areas. So what's interesting? What's interesting for me is that research really can affect people's lives and can be about the stories of people's lives. It's not just ivory tower academia. I knew that, but I didn't know it quite as much until I really got into it. So two quick examples. One is, one of the examples I feature in my article is about a Medicaid demonstration about giving people choice and control over their own lives to make decisions. And though the study happened at Mathematica in conjunction with Boston College, it was fascinating to me that the research that happened there was playing out in the lives of poor, disabled people in Arkansas, Florida, and New Jersey based on that research. I thought that was really interesting. And in addition, another example was under the general heading of physician conflict of interest, that physicians' prescribing behavior is in fact influenced by logos on pens and on pads and writing pads. And it's not just an academic thought or an interesting intellectual idea that belongs in a journal. It's actually playing out, I now know, in real life, in how doctors are prescribing, what they're prescribing, and even influencing the incomes of ad salespeople who are now not able to sell pens and pads like they were before because of this research. I hope this article for scientists and policymakers makes a difference. For scientists, I hope that they are more aware of the possibility and the potential of their work to actually make a difference in people's lives. That their work is not purely journal-worthy, though it's that. It's more than that. Because what many scientists and researchers who are not pure scientists, they may be social scientists, clinical scientists, what they're finding really has implications for people's lives. And they ought to be asking, beyond the research they did, how can I better communicate what I'm doing to influence change based on the research that I've uncovered? With respect to policymakers, I hope they reach out to scientists. And I hope instead of just asking, what did you find, it would be helpful if they asked, this is interesting what you found. What advice do you have for me as a policymaker about how I can take this research and actually apply it to improve people's lives?